Look, you don't need a lot of money to start investing in real estate. I mean, it makes things easier, that's for sure, but it's not needed. If I would have known what I know now when I started, man, it would have been so much smoother and faster. But that's okay, because if you're watching this, it means I get to pass on my wisdom to you. Now, I've bought and sold over 150 properties. I've raised over $60 million. And I've bought some properties the expensive way, and I bought some properties with little to no money down. So in this video, I'm giving you the goods. All I ask is that you smash the like button so it boosts the algo so this video gets to more people. Let's get into it. Now, the first strategy to buying real estate with little to no money down is a thing called house hacking. You might have heard of it. Maybe it has a different term, but basically you're buying a cheaper property, maybe ideally like a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex, living in one of the units and having a tenant in the other units, renting out the unit to help pay for your mortgage costs to offset that expense. Now, the most popular version of this is a duplex. This is what most people do. Maybe you live in the basement if you want to be a real savage, or you live upstairs, have a tenant in the basement, vice versa, but you have a tenant helping to pay that mortgage so that the housing expense isn't absolutely obliterating you and you don't have that financial stress that so many people do for owning their home. Now, let's be real. I'm not as far as Grant Cardone saying that your house is, a giant liability. It's worth nothing. Obviously, if you're buying real estate anywhere in good areas, it's going to appreciate, it's going to pay off in the long term. But I get the argument in the short term. A lot of people are house poor. Their expenses are way too much. They can't afford anything. And they get forced having to work some shitty job that they don't like because they can't afford to try something new, try a business, get a different job because they got so many payments over their head, so many bills they got to pay. So this limits growth and it just leads you to a life of mediocrity. And that ain't cool, man. So I'm down for house hacking, especially in your early 20s, man. Instead of living at mom and dad's house, if you can buy some piece of shit, like, dude, get a little savage, all right? I know millennials are soft, but we're a little older now. We're out of the first time buyer range. Gen Zs, get a little savage. Buy some piece of fucking garbage and live in the basement. It's swampy. It's wet down there. Dude, I get it. Do it. Have somebody rent upstairs, pay off all or most of your mortgage, and now you're talking. Now you can take more risks. You don't have that financial burden over your head of you got to make those payments. You can try something. You can start a business. You can start to build your investing business because it takes time to get off the ground. I totally get it. You can take more risk in your life, which are going to pay off immensely in your 30s and 40s. Trust me. The second way to buy real estate with little or no money down, ideally no money down, is called raising capital. It's a no-brainer. You've heard this before. Find a partner to buy a property with you. They bring the money, you run the deal, you manage the property, you do what you got to do, and you split the profits 50-50. This is how I've literally bought over 150 properties. This strategy right here. I can just end the video here. This is how important this is. You need to learn how to raise capital. Now, it sounds easy. Oh, just raise money. Just get somebody to bring the money. I run the show. Dude, it's way harder than that, and I'm sure you're thinking the exact same. It's not that easy. This is where everything is. The entirety of your real estate business, everything right here. As I always say, you are a marketer first, not a real estate investor first. This is something you got to get with and understand. This is what the pros know. You happen to do real estate investing. Sure, you flip houses in Columbus, Ohio. You buy, long-term single-family rentals just outside of Boston. I get it. That's what you do. That's your real estate investing strategy. What you need to be, number one, is a marketer, which means shouting to the world on social media what you're doing, how you're doing it, the before and the afters, real estate investing tips. Dude, I don't know if you noticed, I'm doing it right now. This is what you got to do. Why do you think I make these videos? Out of the goodness of my heart? I like to help people, obviously. The real reason why I make these videos is to get my brand awareness out. These videos get me partners. They want to invest with me. They like my stuff. They like my personality. They see what I'm doing with the before and afters. They're like, man, I'm not doing that. I don't have time to do what Matt did. I'm already 29, 28 years old. I'm already 33. I already have kids. Like, I don't have time to do what he did and learn the whole business and read all these books. No, I'm just going to partner with Matt. I'm an engineer. I'm a firefighter. Like, that's where people's specialty lie. Like, to learn real estate investing on top of that. No, Real estate investing is my specialty, man. That's all I do. That's all I live and breathe. Every fucking day, every second, real estate. So people see that and they're like, dude, I'm just going to partner with them. That's what you got to do. You got to start eating and breathing real estate, making videos, sharing tips, becoming an educator, showing your before and afters is always the best. And then people are going to be like, interesting. I want to invest in Boston. This guy's in Boston. I'm just going to invest with him. Bing, bang. That's how it works. Anyway, if that got through to you, because I really hope it did, if you want to learn how to do this, check out the links below. Get my course, Unlimited Cash. I teach you my entire social media strategy, what to say, how to make videos, what are you making videos on, how to do the before and afters, what do you got to do, what do you got to say, posting blogs, making free products. You got to do all that, dude. Welcome to the big leagues. That's what you got to do. This is 2024 now when I'm making this video. The 1992 way of raising capital and going to real estate conferences and shaking hands and trying to pitch people and what, dude, no. People are way more reserved now. They're more introverted. They don't want to be sold to. That shit doesn't work. If you're just going to real estate conferences, that's cool to learn. But if you think you're going there, like meet people and connect and network and your net worth is your network. Dude, my net worth is the people that give me money. I don't need to know every fucking single family guy or multifamily investor in the city. Bye. Who's going to give me money so we can buy real estate together and I can learn and do by doing? I don't got to know George. Have you met George? George owns 47 multifamily buildings in Ottawa, Ontario. You want to meet George? Fuck George. Is George giving me money? He's my competitor. I don't want to hang out with George. I want to talk to Sally, who's got 200 grand and has been trying to invest in real estate, but she just can't really figure it out. It's taking too much of her time. Her kid's in ballet and soccer and hockey, and her job is stressful. Like, she has no time. She's never going to invest in real estate. Sally, you ain't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. That's all I do full time. Come invest with me, Sally. Anyway, before this gets a little creepy, point number 3, wholesaling real estate. Another great way on how to invest in real estate with little to no money. Wholesaling real estate, you're finding motivated sellers. You're locking up their property under contract at a discount and selling that contract to another investor like me, a flipper, who's going to buy it and take it from there. Great strategy for a newbie investor, especially if you have no money, not a lot of money to spend on marketing, which I can spend hours talking about the marketing tactics on how to get motivated sellers and how to get that contract signed, which, by the way, if you just want it, check the links below. Get my course, Fruitful Flipping, teaches you the entire business of flipping real estate, how to get these deals at 50 cents on the dollar, yada, yada. You heard it before. Get that link. I'll just tell you how to do it in detail. But wholesaling real estate, we're getting that deal under contract. We're selling it. We're not flipping it. We're not renovating it. We're just flipping a contract. So easy. We do these all the time. Whenever we get a high price deal on the East Coast of Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, 700 grand, 800 grand, 900 grand, $1 million for a shitty ass house, I don't really want to close on that house. I'll do it if we have to. We can't find someone to assign it to, but I'd rather just sell that contract to somebody else. Let somebody else flip it, tear it down, build the house, whatever they're going to do. I don't want to do that. It's a high priced house. There's more risk. I got to raise 900 grand of capital. I can do it, dude. I can do it easily. But I'd rather buy the $200,000 house. That excites me more. I'll take the risk and raise the money and close on it. And maybe we'll flip it. Maybe we'll paint it, just list it on the market. I don't do HGTV flips anymore. We'll get into that soon. But anyway, I'd rather close on that and spread my capital among a number of deals rather than sinking a lot of it into one giant deal. Anyway, that's what I do. I like to wholesale the high price deals, but you can wholesale every deal and just make quick little money. Number 4, seller financing, a great way to get into real estate with little to no money down. This works especially well, I found, with land. So if we're buying vacant land, which I absolutely love. I know, dude, it sounds boring. I hated land for all these years. 12 years, 13 years I've been investing now. I said I never want to do land. I don't want to develop. I don't want to subdivide. Boring. I want to do the HGTV sexy flips. Now I'm a land dude. It's boring. But anyway, seller financing on this stuff is good because sellers of land are usually more investor focused. They're more savvy. They understand it. They also usually own the land outright because it's cheap. 100 grand for 20 acres in Florida, 200 grand for 40 acres. You can get all sorts of deals on land. So these sellers own it free and clear. So when you tell them I'll buy it, instead of ripping you off basically and giving you a low cash offer. I can afford to pay you more, maybe 70, 80 cents on the dollar instead of 50 cents on the dollar like what we're offering. I can pay you more money, but I need seller financing and hold a mortgage for 10 years, 30 years, whatever. And a lot of people are receptive to that. They're like, all right, cool. You're going to pay me cash flow every single month. And you're like, yeah, I'll pay you a 5% interest rate, 6% interest rate over the next 30 years, And they're like, all right, cool. Like this property's been sitting here vacant for the 10 years anyway. I've been paying the property taxes, but if you're going to pay all that and pay me $400 a month, like, okay, I'll do seller financing. That can happen on houses as well. It's a little tougher to get seller financing on a house because sellers for homes are just people. They're just regular Joes. They don't really understand it, and you got to educate them, and then they get confused, and then they'll just say no anyway. But for land or multifamily buildings especially, seller financing is awesome. Mobile home parks, more business savvy stuff you're going to get more lucky with. But if you can find landlords for multifamily buildings, owners of land, and do seller financing, you're going to pick up a lot of stuff for almost no money down or no money down, very low payments. You can rent it out, cash flow, etc. Great strategy to really dive in and learn on. Number 5, sub 2s, kind of following on seller financing is a sub 2. What that basically means in a nutshell is, then this works super well for residential houses, especially people who are in pre-foreclosure. They're going to lose the house soon. They can't afford the house. There's some motivation there, or maybe there's just not, but whatever. It usually works well with people with motivation, pre-foreclosure. You're going to take over their mortgage payments. So let's say the house is worth $200,000 retail on the market. If you were to sell it on the market, it was worth $200,000. They have a mortgage of $160,000. It's tight. You can't buy it at $160,000, close, renovate a little bit, and sell it at $200,000. It makes no sense. It's too tight. So on those deals where like they recently bought it or they're just leveraged up to the tits in debt, you can just say, you know what? I'm going to take over your mortgage payments, all those mortgages, your first, your second, whatever. I'm going to take over it. Don't worry about that anymore. I'm taking over the $160,000. I'm going to give you $10,000 right now to just get out of the house, moving costs, first and last on your next house. Get out. No bankruptcy for you. Don't worry about anything. I'm taking over the payments. You get to own the property. Now, this works for America. I'm from Canada originally. This won't work in Canada. The lenders won't let it happen. In America, it's awesome. It's capitalism. They don't care. As long as they're getting their money every month, most banks won't care. So you get to own a property for $10,000 down. If they agreed to it, just a payout of $10,000. So you got a house at $170,000 that's worth $200,000. Got some equity there. That's cool. You took over the payment. You're locked in. Maybe they had, especially if they got the house in 2020, 2019, 2021. Their mortgage payment's probably like 3%. So you're taking over a 3% mortgage. You're getting some value in equity. It's going to cash flow. You're going to re-rent it out. Obviously, you're going to make sure it's going to cash flow in the right area, etc. And it only costs you $10,000. This is the shit I'm talking about. It's so awesome that most people don't understand these strategies. But a sub 2, you got to learn more of. And last but not least, the last strategy to invest in real estate, but not the only one, but the last one on my list is a wholesale/flip. We can buy a property, again, ideally with partners. We're getting that motivated seller from what I taught you in the course below in Fruitful Flipping, how to get these deals at 50 cents on the dollar. We're going to buy this deal. We're going to raise the money for it. By the way, if you're buying deals at 50 cents on the dollar, it becomes a lot easier to raise the money. Even if you're a nobody, you got no branding, no social media presence, which is a shame. You got to do that. But even if you don't, if you're stealing fucking deals and you can prove it with an appraisal like Realtor Comps, when you go to these online forums like biggerpockets.com or like whatever, a Facebook group in your area, and you're posting, hey, I got a deal at 50 cents on the dollar. I'm looking for a partner to invest with me. The money's going to come, dude. But it all comes on getting that good deal first. But instead of doing the HGTV flips like I used to do, like I said, I was the man. That's what I did for like 10 years. I was the HGTV flip guy. My flips looked sick. They were designed well. The staging was on point, all that stuff. I don't do those anymore. Fuck that. I focus more my efforts on building our marketing strategy amazing to get these 50 cent on the dollar deals because the money's all in the buy. I'm buying them low. I'm closing at most. I'm painting it, cleaning it out, getting the furniture out, and I'm relisting on MLS at a low price for someone else to put in that sweat equity, or a flipper, a dumb flipper, to take it over, a first-time flipper, to take it over and finish it the rest of the way. I ain't doing that. I don't need to squeeze every goddamn dollar out of every deal. Why? Abundance. In America, there is an abundance of leads and deals and motivated sellers. See, in Canada, it's not like that. There's no motivation when I was doing this in Canada. There's no financial motivation in Canada. It's more of a socialistic society. There's a nice safety net. It catches people when they're down on their luck. The foreclosure rate in Canada is 0.15%. Nobody goes bankrupt in Canada. Nobody. So there's no real financial motivation there. So I wasn't able to steal deals. I was buying deals at like 77 cents on the dollar, 80 cents on the dollar. Yeah, that's where they were. And I had to HGTV renovate them to lift the value, to make it worth it, to get some profit, 40K, 60K, 100K profit. I had to lift it. Well, in the US, it's different, dude. I just steal deals from people that just want to get rid of the land, get rid of the house. They got some shit going on in their life. They're just like, dude, I don't care. I know you're ripping me off, but it's nice and easy. There's no bullshit. I'll sell it to you. I just look for those people. And in a country of 350 million people, as opposed to Canada, we got 38 million, it's 10 times bigger in America. And the system is 10 times more capitalistic in the sense that there's no safety nets, not as much. So when people got to sell, they got to sell, and they got to sell now. So it's just a different vibe, different economy. Anyway, that's my rant on why I don't do HTV flips anymore. I just buy it low, sell it low, next. Anyway, guys, those are some great tips on how to buy real estate without having to put a ton of money in. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, smash the like button. I'll see you in the next video.